Alright guys, so I'm back and these are some Webster's pages layouts that I completed recently. And the first one here is my son Dylan when he was just 2 weeks old, and he spent most of his time sleeping for the first month or so. I guess as much most babies do. So this is a page I did called Sweet Slumber. I don't know if you can see it there. And let me tell you a little bit about the page. Basically this is a 5x7 photo of him, and he was laying on a pack and play, one of those pack and plays that you can raise the top, I guess, and lay the baby there for the day. So there were a lot of stuff happening in the background. There were black and blue and a blanket. So I just cut everything out to get rid of all that noise in the back. And I matted the photo on another page. And to make it more, I guess, airy, I just brushed the paper with some gesso, which is this right here. And I just gave it a nice thin coat of gesso. So you can see it here. It is really light, like a white coating. And there's a little bit here too. Let me just show you the back, because there's a lot going on. So what I did was I put the large piece of paper in the back, and I just taped it so that it wouldn't get cut once I tried to put it in an album. So it's taped all around. And just to make it peek through, I cut the paper in the front, and I used my mini mister to wet the page, and I cut some of it out, and then the rest I just rolled back using a pen, like a thin pen, or just my fingers, whatever I could use that was thin enough. So you can see it here that is rolled over. Okay. And lastly, the corners I just kept thin, and I stitched with hemp. This is not floss, this is actually hemp string. So that was a little tough to do because this is pretty tough, but I really like the effect, and I did the same thing on the other corner. And I ripped some of the paper here, and I rolled it again and stitched, so you can see there. And again, this is a piece that I added so it could peek through, and I really like the effect. And you know what, making the holes to stitch was so tough because this is really thick cardstock paper that I ripped the paper. But what I did was I just let it stay there like that, and then I just peeled back. And I actually liked how that it looks distressed and shabby chic. So I like the effect. And then some of the designs here I just accented with crackle accents. So that was nice there. And I added some prima vines on the sides. And these giant pearls that you see here are these. Let me just show you. And these you can find at the floral, it's a long stem. You can find at the floral section at Michael's. I just bought the stem and I took it apart, and it brings so much. This is so good. It was on clearance for $1.99, so I was happy I found it. And for the title, I just took some chipboard, Maya Road chipboard letters. Let me just focus here. And I painted them with crackle paint in picket fence. You can see that. And to prevent the crackle paint from flaking off, I went ahead and I covered it with glossy accents, and then I also inked it a little bit with shabby shutters to give it a little bit of a greenish distressed look. And I have my Webster's Pages stickers there. Oops, a frame. And that's it. That was the baby layout that I made for Webster's Pages. And then they also have a challenge going on right now to scrap vintage photos you may have. And I don't have a lot of vintage photos in my house because my mom keeps them all, but I did have this one of myself as a baby, and here's my mom holding me, and I think I was a month old in this picture. So I just took some paper from the Life's Portrait collection, and these are the some of the paper I never thought of using because they're so dark, and otherwise the whole collection is floral. So you can see the back here is actually colorful, but I just distressed the edges and I inked it with the paint dauber in black, and I layered this other page also distressed and inked. And I really like the combination of the black and white and cream going on here. And this is just a cutout. Let me just put it down so you can see better. This is a cutout from another page. And I saw Jade do this, and I love the effect. This paper is actually quite colorful in the back. So to cover all the colors, I added some lace. This is the lace. And this is the lace I also used in my Father's Day box. Let me put this aside so you can see it. It's really pretty lace and it's really thick. It's like 3 inches thick, 3 or 4 inches thick. So I love using it, and I have a lot of it. So I just put it here and roll the paper over, because this cutout comes up to here. It's not very wide, so that way it looks like it's wider. And I really like how the pattern in her shirt and the sofa kind of like look like the pattern in this paper. So I thought they would work well together. Let's see what else I did. Oh, this is the this is by Tattered Angels, and this is one of those alphabets that pop out in the timepieces. So the Tim Holtz clock faces fit perfectly inside. This is the larger one. So let me just focus here. So what I did was I glimmer misted this one in Whitfields and just inked it with the black soot color to give it a more distressed look. And I really liked how that came out. And these are inked. These are Prima roses. And these are the fairy tale ones, and these are the Recollections Prima wannabes. So these are glimmer mist in iridescent gold, and then I just give it a light, really light spray of Whitfields, so it could match a little more. And I have a couple of sparklers in here, 2 little tiny ones, and one of their silhouettes. And I also have some Prima Bling over here, so you can see that there. There we go. And here's the same thing. The roses were glimmer mist with Whitfields and another sparkler. And for this one, I thought, you know, the classic Webster's Pages layouts always have some florals and birds and things like that. So I cut this one for another piece of paper, and I added crackle accents on the bird. You can see it right there. And also on the eggs here. And I just stuck it right under in there. And let me just show you. To keep this roll from like squashing down when I put it on the album, let me see if I can show you. I just made a couple of rows of pop dots. This is the end of the sheet, so I put 2 in there so that once I put it down on the album, it won't go completely flat, which I really don't want that to happen. And that's it. That's my layout, and this is again for their challenge, so if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on their blog, and I'm going to be posting it in there. So those are my layouts I have been working on. Thanks for watching, and have a great summer afternoon. Bye bye.